Earth has 8 layers and all of them contribute to the movement of our crust and seafloor. The Earth consists of 8 layers including the crust. These layers are the inner core, outer core, lower mantle, transition zone, asthenosphere, lithosphere, and the 2 crusts. With a radius of about 1,220 kilometers, the inner core is almost as hot as the surface of the Sun. Due to the immense pressure, this ball that measures 5,200 degrees in Celsius is solid instead of molten. The inner core is made up of radioactive metals including iron and nickel and uranium, which give out heat as they decay. The upper core is made of pure liquid iron that produces a magnetic field around Earth. This magnetic field protects us from radioactive and harmful gases from the Sun. The upper core measures about 2,200 kilometers in thickness and is about 4,500 to 5,500 Celsius in temperature. Since there is not as much pressure on the upper core, it is almost liquid rock due to the heat. The lower mantle is 660 to 2,700 kilometers deep and is even hotter and more dense than the lava we see on the surface of the Earth. Just like the inner core, the lower mantle is kept solid due to super intense pressure. The transition zone is where your diamonds are made. The new diamonds, altogether, hold as much water as all the oceans combined. Rocks do not melt in here, they only become more dense and sink to the lower mantle. The lithosphere is right above the transition zone. It extends about 100 to 110 kilometers deep and contains the crust together with the upper mantle and the upper portion of the upper mantle. This is where tectonic activity is first powered. The upper mantle, also known as the asthenosphere, is where lava forms. The rocks become so hot that they melt and start to flow. The upper mantle is less dense than the lithosphere, which makes it to float on top of it. Due to pressure, the molten rocks form magma plumes which make the oceanic crust to spread, hence the term seafloor spreading. Magma plumes from the asthenosphere shoot up to the oceanic crust, pushing 2 plates in opposite directions. New plates are formed and joined with the previous plate and marked with magnetic bands from where the plume is visible. As the plates move apart, they go under a less dense plate and melt, and the process starts again. Seafloor spreading created huge trenches in the waters since the beginning of time. Seafloor spreading also created magnetic stripes across the seafloor that reverse Earth's magnetic fields every 3 million years or so. This is called magnetic banding, and it helps us know the age of the seafloor. Seafloor spreading was originally theorized by Alfred Wegener but later discovered by Harry Hess when he was mapping the seafloor with sonar. These are the main reasons why continental drift happens on the continental crust. Subduction zones are convergent boundaries where one tectonic plate slides under the other into the mantle due to density difference and gravitational pull. Subduction zones are mainly found in the Ring of Fire and on the bay areas of many countries. Subduction zones are one of the most naturally dangerous places on Earth too. By this I don't mean that you will be surrounded by thugs and gangsters, but what I really mean by this is that the place will be more of a bullseye to earthquakes and tsunamis because of the shifting of tectonic plates. Now that we are talking about earthquake and other devastating disasters, we will learn from what kind of force they are made with, and how they are made. There are 3 types of plate boundaries: the divergent plate boundary, the convergent plate boundary, and a transform plate boundary. The way plates move at the boundaries is what creates an earthquake. Divergent boundaries are made when plates move away from each other. Just like seafloor spreading. They are called constructive boundaries because the magma plume creates a new crust. Convergent plate boundaries are made when plates collide with each other. These types of boundaries are also called destructive boundaries. The transform boundaries are my favorite. They neither destroy nor do they create. They're even. These plate boundaries slide against each other, scraping each other as they go. When a convergent plate boundary subducts, it usually creates a big trench, but if it does not subduct, it will create mountains. Transform boundaries do not make any features due to no collision or momentum. Divergent plate boundaries are usually found underwater. They are what we call seafloor spreading, and they form trenches. Earthquakes can be caused at the transform plate boundaries and the divergent plate boundaries because they both are colliding against each other or creating friction even. If an earthquake is underwater, then it will cause a tsunami. The most deadly earthquakes, though, are created by transform boundaries.